onoyan for Samuel Nate George wano ene kase o de abetu just say aban e de enhyehyeye guapono so enche bia no omo eba na wo ma roll out a new biometric registration exercise e de ama SIM cards ahodo a ye use e wo oman mu na afen so no electronic communication numbering resources ya ni nyina no ene se ebeboa amakro no bo a ekoso ne fraud ahodo a ekoso e wo so communications gab ni mu no ana so se emu no eno so yetimi ahwe na yetu ase edi free honum na ochra o se ebre aso se wo se yetumi tu sa na mo no se na ebe betumi aboa ya no o se din a edadwumadi no so no electronic communication numbering resources registration exercise na ochre mu a ebeboa amagana ya telecommunications and afi database no yetumi strengthen na afi so national security so to me ejira ne nine so ebra no den seven nyina to dwa e the floor of parliament.
The ministry wishes to state that the government's decision to undertake a new biometric SIM registration exercise, now referred to as the Electronic Communication Numbering Resource Registration Exercise, is informed by the need to strengthen the integrity, security, and reliability of Ghana's telecommunication ecosystem and to address gaps identified in the previous SIM registration exercise. Mr. Speaker, the previous exercise aimed to ensure that all SIM cards are linked to verified identities through biometric verification and validation against the NIA database. However, the biometric information collected during the exercise was not checked against the NIA database, allowing some individuals to register SIM cards using false, stolen, or unverifiable identities. Mr. Speaker, because of this, the previous registration exercise did not fully achieve its objectives, and systemic weaknesses continue to undermine the integrity of the National SIM Register. Mr. Speaker, the need for a new SIM registration exercise is necessary for the following reasons. 1, incomplete biometric verification. Mr. Speaker, subscriber records were not subjected to real-time biometric verification against the NIA database, thereby limiting the effectiveness of the previous exercise in establishing a fully verified and traceable subscriber database. 2, a rising incidence of fraud and cybercrime. Mr. Speaker, weaknesses in the existing registration framework have been exploited in incidents of SIM swap fraud, mobile money fraud, identity theft, registration of SIM cards using impersonated identities, and sale and use of pre-registered SIM cards. Mr. Speaker, the new exercise seeks to address these vulnerabilities and improve customer protection and national security. 3, the introduction of real-time biometric authentication. Mr. Speaker, under the proposed framework, no SIM card or numbering resource will be activated unless the subscriber's identity has been successfully verified in real time against the relevant national identification data.
Abusia wo ensemi muano ene dom kumano stage brief workout na omo sorry every floor hono mo na chese omo chese protest and omo ye na omo ye editia deputy speaker of parliament onyanfo Bernard Ahiafo na omo chire mo omo say wa sheda pa na se nsem bi basa na wo mo dom kuma na omo ye so omo ye ho omo bisa questions na wa sheda ye oversight I say wa anti bisa na say ne refi question omo bisa ye no I was so hwe na omo yi no na ebi ti se sa sim card registration o che se dom kuma no wo mo bisa ho nsem pa ya na nkomu hia no yie na so no deputy sheda ye ne ho say ami want question no and or a frustration or shada so be frustrated bank benches and afa no or undermine oversight and na ehun ehia se was almost stages work out no na omo eba no dani me chedom kuma no ba no dani no no anso na emra shebedani di ma de show mo efutu abato no empesua eso oroyanfo Alexander Apenyo Markent or no ena one essential for etwetwe nkomo na what is me etuja.
We have observed that the First Deputy Speaker has a way of using the rules to stampede parliamentary oversight. You've all observed that he started the attack on our backbenchers. Anytime our backbenchers were on, had the opportunity to be on their feet, he will use the rules to frustrate them. The rules are not meant to be used to intimidate, frustrate, and as he's trying to do, bring Parliament to a standstill. We've tolerated the first Deputy Speaker for quite some time. Even today, you realize that the question I was asking was a public interest question. This is a government policy that is seeking to start SIM registration afresh. They claim that people use unverifiable identities to get SIM registration cards. And our question is, at what cost? How many people were identified to have used stolen IDs and all of that? Especially so when the minister himself said it will be at no cost to the subscribers. This is a harmless question. It's the interest of the Ghanaian public to know how much it is costing the nation. In any event, the previous registration came at a cost. So we need to know what procurement processes are being followed and all of that. And this is the first Deputy Speaker who sits in as a presiding officer, claiming to know the rules and saying that no, it's a new question. Meanwhile, that answer was provided by the minister. And the rules under 89(1) allows you to anchor your supplementary question on an answer given by the minister for the purpose of clarification. So this is just our protest. We protested the posture of the first Deputy Speaker using the rules to frustrate us. And as you observe, even his own side disagreed with him. The majority leader himself realized that what he was doing was wrong. It's the reason why we walked out. However, we're going back into the chamber to deal with other business. We protested his posture on this very matter, and that is it. Thank you very much.
Minority caucus, yeah, one assign so boycott a proceedings. I don't know if a Bank of Ghana, one a governor. Chese oba ebepie mu ewo efie hono mu a ye kire se ewaso obehwe na obo yi nsem ano na eno ane esensentrofo omo wo hoda se no mo ye omo adwuma no ankwankoba ne sa na emom no ye mo ehye se ensentrofo entry eye floor hono MPA na chese enkoka eye governor no proceedings na be call without any eye camera na say without cameras na eno na dom kuma ne ba be hye se se ne se ho se de ekoso no eye oman ni nyina national interest o se nyina etimi ye hu de ekoso enti no ebe den na we ka sense ntrofo nkosan se yen so na ye betie kwasefo yen ene cameras yi ene betwa na edi akomonti na omanfo etimi hu ne ekoso na se wo se ye msantrofo MPA dia na se bibi na mudi sie ne kwaba ne sanso de se mo mpese mo bebu eye mo be ye accountable ana so se mo bebu nkonta edi ama oman Ghana animu adehye ne science no na hu hia se wo motena ho bi sanse wo mo de nya de wo mfo abone eso enti wo mo ebo modin a protect boycott eye proceedings no na eno etre no na ye ne eye mrashibedwani de ma adehye a wo mo ewo ofuase eyirebi oreyanfo kojo opon enkroma echeche enkomo eno wo kire se enya de adom kuma se na medi nkan kan ye no wo mo ebefo abone so enti nya de a wo mo so ebeye de wo betenem ebi esanse wo mo hu ni se pelepele ye bi enko so ewo baabi eno nti nya de a wo betumi atena se na wo ma ye hwe han enti na wo so mutumi epie efri eye ho anaso se wo boycott proceedings no yenko na enti no.
You have observed the majority caucus has requested that you should be exited from the chamber as we're having this committee, or as we're about to have this committee of the whole meeting. The reason is that they are of the view that the matters that we are about to ask the governor and the answers which he has already submitted to Parliament, you should not be allowed to cover it. And that is why you have been asked to step out. And for the last close to about an hour, the minority leader has been on his feet urging on the majority side to allow the media in so that these questions and the answers that the governor has already submitted, you can cover for the people of Ghana to follow. I have here a copy of the answers submitted by the central bank. This is what they don't want you to cover. Now, let me give you a bit of a background. In 2025, you will recall that we raised here on this floor that there were questions about how the sovereign reserves of the Republic of Ghana were being managed in an attempt to bring the currency to a particular exchange rate. And there were denials from the central bank. The year having been over, because at the end of the day, you, the people of Ghana, will pay. And that is why we are raising these questions, so that we can also share other risks that they are not paying attention to. Earlier, the governor submitted his answers, and I'm going to read to you the answers they don't want you to hear. I want to read to you the first part of why they don't want you to cover. The Bank of Ghana says that since August 2024, they have not undertaken direct market interventions, as their FX operations do not draw on the central bank's reserves. Instead, the FX intermediation has been executed through the domestic gold purchase program. Does that sound familiar to anybody? The Bank of Ghana is here to admit that the ability to intervene on the market is as a result of the domestic gold purchase program. And that what they are doing is that they are mobilizing forex proceeds from the domestic.
Eti minority caucus and ebosubo ewo hono na majority caucus nso aba be ya no echirem se nokura bi anim wa momfa ahye NCA Ghana this year na emomu no majority leader mechire dom dodo no ba no deni onionyamfo Mahama Yariga echirem a o se de course we no enya de foforo bia a SCI BNC da watch that says obepiem wo fie hodom a practice a ekoso e wo ho fiti ya wo mo ankasa dom kuman no wo mo ye aware say independent constitutional bodies bia bepiem wo ho say oba be yinsem bia no e wo parliament wo no a sa na ye no ye involve camera and answer media enti we no enya de foforo bia ya wo mo afa no say e bia de abai bi embada watch that say they are in line with procedures a ekoso e wo the floor of Parliament.
So I want you to know that there's nothing that the governor is afraid of answering in public. It is just that I believe that we must adhere to our rules. And if indeed your interest is in finding out something about the way that the finances of this country are being managed, the man who is managing is sitting in front of you. You can ask the question and then satisfy yourself that the finances are being properly managed. You can use the information in your engagements in other areas and on other platforms. But clearly, what the minority has done is to show that they are not interested in the question and the answers to the question. They are interested in the media optics. saying that the governor has come, ask him your questions. Say no, unless the journalists are standing there, you will not ask him the questions. I said, but we don't do that for all the other independent constitutional bodies. Why must it be the governor that we must be subjecting to that at all times? I did it because I had the numbers, so I could convince the committee of the whole at that time to have the journalists in and cover the proceedings. If you want to do that, you have to approach us, you have to work with us, and we will all agree that this is how we're going to do it. But when you have an attitude of you want to do things the way you want at all times. You were here this morning. You asked the minister a question. The minister answered. Then you want to ask, supplementary questions. Speaker rules against you. You show gross disregard for the speaker. And then you walk out. When you have that attitude, even on simple matters, we will grandstand. You understand that? You act and people also react. If you are just approaching and so we want this thing before the cameras, we would have asked the governor if you are comfortable with the media, why not? The governor says he's comfortable. He even
I was your my friend Rasha na ma komeni won sam from ene na Ghana Gold Board. Ya openyi kwanhwefo da board no animu ononyamfo Sami Jemfi Esquire na womo abomoden a ayisika 112,645,862.48 Ghana cedis at the Aquaculture Narcotics Control Commission. Nakokini etwanitia efre womo. Ya eno no omo se eyabaso body chenchire pa na omo de ma womo. Ese womo ehwe ebu ayema operation bi e course no womo etumi eye successful ma enam so mo koje eye anomo kochi eye illegal gold traders ewaye afi 2025 no emu na womo etumi agi gold bar baako dunson 17 gold bar eno mo sa etumi ekan ya be ye oman no ejapade na eno ana yera Sami Jemfi ba be kire se oh womo eba ya pe no shares abone de to hono ese wopia obehwe aboa na intelligence and answer operational support no betumi lead na yakochi sa illegal gold traders ibia no ye wa aboso body ya ye de ebema wo eno ena nakofo ayeya ne ama wonmo etumi enya sa sika enti se enti ye bekọ na yetie yera Sami Jemfi nsem wani afoforo bi emponi kransha wasade asha afoforo nso se obia nso ehu bia na nso se eti bia nso ebehwa aboa se be ya yenso ne betumi enya kakra apoje.
Sometime September last year that you successfully effected the arrest of some illegal gold traders who were engaged in gold smuggling. You arrested them and you seized about 17 bars of yellowish substances later determined through assay to be gold. I'm happy to inform NACOC that we have not only validated the seizure, but we have also just concluded the forfeiture of the related 17 bars of gold. Having confiscated it, if I can put it in that simple way, the gold has now become the property of the state. Therefore, in line with our policy as an institution to reward informants who volunteer information that lead to the arrest of illegal gold traders, smugglers, and what have you, the board of the gold board directed that 10% of the value of the seized gold be given to the informants who worked with NACOC. If it was a private entity we're dealing with or a private person, we would have just stopped at the level of the 10%, if you like, motivational policy. That, of course, has been endorsed by His Excellency the President himself. But because we are dealing with NACOC, and we know you had to deploy a lot of resources, time, and efforts in achieving this, the board, in its wisdom, recommended that the officers that actually worked on this case, those that were involved in the entire operation leading to the arrest of the suspects from the intelligence gathering stage all the way to the enforcement actions that were taken should also be motivated with 20% of the value of the proceeds.
Ano Echreno, Director General of NACOC, Major General Maxwell Obubamante, wano ena ojina commission enimna oji check no na ojina commission so enim dia da PSA Emma Gold Board ese wo mo edi wo mo eboshe so na owie no wo kire se motivation eso ani pa ya say no ebe boost wo mo confidence se brano no o mehwe aboa na operations bi sai to me akos no enyo mo so nko a gidiye ese enforcement agencies ahodo no so no ebe hye wo mo so nkran se wo mo so beboa etu anamon bisa.
Normally will not fall in our line of operation. It was illegal for someone to smuggle it out of the country. And seeing the good work you are doing, it behooves of every single individual in this country to support. So if you find out value of good living in the borders of Ghana, when we are chasing for it to develop the same Ghana for the benefit of everybody, it wasn't right that we should sit aloof and let it go. To surprise you to know that when we had it, some guys within the area were mobilizing to attack the officer. And so that very minute he communicated to me, I alerted my deputy, procured a ticket for him. I called my colleagues in Tamale to escort him under military security arrangements to bring him. Bolga, yes. To bring him right from Bolga to Tamale and then subsequently, so that he had to wait at the office for close to midnight to pick it up. At narcotics, we are very transparent because we believe in the core values. I tell people that you can say whatever you want to say, but at the commission, we believe that the integrity of every single individual matters.
Abusuya yebako akopiemu ewo takra de na akopiemu ho so de ne na mra chebedwani ma de sha wamo ewo ho no yafo kwabena otre dako mensa ode ato aban enim fresh aban momodia na enim ya no on equip youth no ananse se omomodia na ombo ye chiri dom se na be ya vocational training no ebetumi akoso na afenso omma productive assets so se be ya manage mebunu no na teacher no omo skills so bibia owo bia nsa na adwuma bia no wo montumi ema na kade ese na be betumi aboa na wetumi akonanim na ekoba ne sa no a eboa ema mebunu no ye nyina no se adwuma ni ho na se wawo ye nsa na adwuma etumi eboa pa enti ebeboa magana youth no ya tumi aboa na economic force no ye nyina yetumi aboa na ye pushi odi nsam nyina to dwa wo bra kopie mu wo bra ye hye ofa na se neno market World Population Day 2026 na eho eno kopie mu na afiti da dwumadie no eso investing in Ghana's future through health, skills and empowered youth, young people. Eho eno kopie odensemi etuja.
Speaker, vocational education is one key area I believe that we can get the benefits immediately instead of even waiting for the future. It is therefore very important that as a country, we boldly support all young people who have taken vocational education as part of their lifelong learning and also their livelihoods. Mr. Speaker, we should start looking at the opportunities of providing them with productive assets, and give them the skills to manage them and the skills to sell their product or services. These are key skills that can make them survive the 21st century. Mr. Speaker, in other jurisdictions, they also know that you can never build a city without ideas and creativity. I believe that it is time we get our schools to start looking at this particular issue at the grassroots level, at the lower levels, at the basic level, especially financial literacy. It's one area that I believe that we've not been bold enough in this country about it. A lot of people don't look at financial literacy. They grow till they are old before they try to catch up with it. By that time, it would have been too late. Mr. Speaker, the issue of entrepreneurship
is also very key. Because if you empower people and don't give them the skills to succeed in life, don't give them the skills to be persistent, don't give them the skills to have the grit to move on whatever they want to do, Mr. Speaker, it will be very difficult for our population.
I was your original saying we saw make us see any swaja for encratch or Madame my bar metwa so amamo. Abusuya bada mo asesa mo twama yakwaji aboafo enkrato madaroma meto ansem no so ede amamo meto aso dia ene na meto aso ede efri eye the Ghana labor exchange program and Ghana and our pause ejuma die no ho entuma labor exchange program ya say connect skilled youth. There's mebuna ya mo ensano adwuma mo ya skilled no ye connect wo mo e de ama global job market na ye ma wo mo job opportunities globally na so afo me kire minister for youth development and empowerment onoyan for George Opare Ado Esquire wono eno ohwema wo mo epauge medie hu entuma etia eda initiative esto no eno enso skills beyond borders resetting Ghana through youth technical excellence na afi and global workforce integration na ochirechire mu butaye ne timo point ya wo mo pauge medie no entuma yenkona entie no.
Access to decent work, global opportunities, and brighter future. It reflects our belief that Ghanaian youth possess of talent, discipline, and resilience to compete and excel anywhere in the world when given the right platform. I wish to commend the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment, State Council Limited, and all our partners in this initiative. Together, we are creating a safe, structured, and dignified pathway for international employment, whilst protecting the rights and welfare of our young people. As we officially launch the program today, let it serve as a symbol of hope for every young Ghanaian seeking opportunity, a reminder of our commitment to empowering the youth to the core for all stakeholders to continue working together to expand opportunities for the next generation. It is my sincere expectation that this program will transform lives, strengthen families, contribute to our national development, better position Ghana, a trusted source for skilled, competent professionals global labor market. This goes on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment, and also on behalf of the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment. It is my singular honor and privilege to officially declare the Labor Exchange Program duly launched.
Ano etre no ora ajinan kasitechi ya wonu ya managing director Edman Ayat Consulting so den sembe to jayen kona entie no
na me CEO of Need Consult Limited company ye boa ababuru young people ema omutukwan legally and they call Germany and other European countries. Now the young say Ghana ababunu also we have over millions of young people. Now omo young profile omo pe akwanya say obeye juma no realize their potential. But the air they say the Brina don't have the right opportunities. Now Emabru de we ne dan there be opportunity whether say Europe and Ghana and Asia and wherever. They consult, you are stepping in, say, you best sanitize the environment. Now, you are young people, akwanya say, on the 2 point papa. Because, say, we 2 point papa, and bread, hombre, who great opportunity to realize your potential. Your human in say, Omo, Ewo, Wasi, SSC and above, Yebe Gadom, we bring them together. Now, you are trying with the German language from A1 level to B1 level. Now, you pay a Jumamo, it comes with a work permit. Now, you pay accommodation, visa, everything. Now, say, Omuko drew Germany, yes, I provide guidance and support for 2 years. Say, they be Omo better see, and they will be integrated.
Abusia mede ensam ne besia so na Jonathan Opon abade agokensem nsem abeka ye ho.